Representative Bellew.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the Assembly, the bill before you, as the previous speaker said, will eliminate state income tax on any Social Security that you receive. You know, it used to be very, very simple. Social Security was not taxed. Period. Just was not taxed. But then as part of the State Social Security Plan back in 1983, Congress decided to tax up to 50% of the benefits. And this hurts me to say this, but President Reagan signed that into law. So later, I think it was in 1991 or 92, they decided to increase that so you had to pay up to 85% of your benefits for taxes. Now, Social Security was enacted in 1935. It was part of President Roosevelt's New Deal. It was not subject to taxation until 1984. And Social Security, I researched this, Social Security was not taxed in the early days because the Treasury Department of the U.S. considered benefits received under the Social Security Act as gratuities, and since gifts or gratuities were not generally taxable, Social Security benefits were not taxable. Also, the Treasury Department said that the portion of pension benefits not subject to taxation is that on after-tax income, which means that Social Security is not pre-tax income. You pay taxes, and they still deduct Social Security from your wages. To me, this just amounts to a double taxation. Elimination of this tax from Social Security, from state income tax, makes sense. After all, retirees are having to hand back money to the state, which in most of their minds, and mine included, were already taxed while we were working. If this tax were eliminated from the state income tax, middle income and low income retired workers would see an immediate boost in their monthly pay. I believe, as I said before, this is a classic example of double taxation. And I think this will affect everyone in here, because I hope every one of you receive Social Security someday. And currently, Social Security is subject to state income tax in only 13 states, and North Dakota is one of those. Also, a report came out stating that the friendliest states to retire in did not subject Social Security to income tax. House members, it is time to eliminate the Social Security tax from state income. Now, my friend over here talked about his worksheet. I did a worksheet also on the 2018 tax rate. If a married couple is making $40,000 a year and their Social Security income is $16,000, if this bill were to pass, they would save 30% of their state income tax. Finally, the budget proposed by our governor, I believe if I remember right, is the second highest proposed state budget in history. The amount proposed is a little over $14 billion. And if one can believe the fiscal note, which I personally don't believe, of $20.8 million, this represents 0.001% of the budget. Now, I just don't understand why we can't give the citizens of the state back 0.001% of the budget. We have in committee several bills that are going to increase government spending by a lot of money. The one, I think, is going to increase it by $250 to $280 million. Yet, according to the committee that this bill came from, we cannot afford to give our seniors some of their money back. Let's do the right thing and pass this bill, and let's do it for the people, for a change. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Final vote shows 63 yea, 24 nay, 7 absent, not voting. House Bill 1174 is declared passed.